The serenity of the moment brought him promptly to the edge of sleep as well.
This line will end.
The Lurr's eyes were orange.
This line will end.
Benny stirred and twisted to look at his... So ended Dr. Benny Spritzer's day in the winter of 2030. This was the day he became aware of the odd new behavior of his daughter's animatronic babysitter, Lurr. For the past year, Lurr was the star of his daughter's life, hyper-realistic yet cuddly, with a full range of AI features, making it incredibly responsive. In the past weeks, however, it began to exhibit troubling glitches, spontaneous and cryptic vocalizations with the latest and most unsettling of these malfunctions. Benny, who was recovering at home from a medical procedure, had enjoyed a relatively peaceful start to his day. Benny sat alone at the kitchen table, savoring a rare, quiet moment in the house. Axel had left some time ago. Elise was deep into her teleconference down the hall, and Brit was upstairs, unusually quiet in her room. Far from returning to work immediately after his procedure, Benny had awoken from the sedation with a realization. He was done. Done for now, at least. The physical invasion of the transesophageal echocardiogram left a lingering metallic ache at the back of his throat, but the emotional weight was heavier.
"Get your head together,"
Benny recalled his father's words when he was getting out of line as a teenager.
"Yep. Get your head together."
Dr. Benny Spritzer was a fortunate man, he knew. He had the career, the family, and a comfortable suburban sanctuary. But lately, there was a ripple in his feelings, an underlying static he couldn't define. The great minds were constantly splashing the tabloids with theories that humanity lived in a simulation, a multiverse of 11 dimensions, take your pick. But Benny fought back against what he considered to be irrelevant tech-driven fantasies. He wanted to plant his feet on solid ground, however unpleasant or fragile that ground might become. Yet, the ripple persisted. Pushing up from the table, Benny continued his internal monologue.
"I've wasted enough time this morning."
Benny placed his mug in the sink and took the stairs to see what his daughter was up to. The floor of 5-year-old Brit's bedroom was a vibrant scattering of luminous plastic blocks and learning devices. Benny entered cautiously, careful not to trigger any of these talkative tablets. This room was a bright sanctum, shielded entirely from the machine-gray hospital wards he was actively avoiding. Benny eased himself down onto the soft rug and began methodically stacking a fortress of blue blocks. Brit sat cross-legged next to him, adjusting the realistic animatronic ears of Lurr, her plush rabbit companion. Lurr sat between them. The white rabbit was an expensive upgrade of this popular automated babysitter, virtually autonomous, verbal, and engineered to move with an eerie, fluid grace. Brit was rarely seen without her. Now the rabbit's large, soft form rested heavily against the little girl's knee. To Benny, looking into his daughter's wide, uncomplicated eyes, he found his anchor.
"Daddy, do toys have bad dreams?"
"I don't think so, sweetheart. Their memory chips don't really sleep the way we do. Why do you ask?"
"Because Lurr has been waking up when the lights go out. She doesn't say her normal morning songs anymore. She says silly things, funny, scratchy words that keep me awake."
Benny's hand gripped the blue block a fraction harder. His heart paused, then thumped.
"What kind of scratchy words, Brit?"
"I don't know. Maybe she's just thirsty. I told her to go back to sleep, but her eyes stayed orange for a really long time, even when I plugged her in."
Benny knew the factory settings. Orange was the "let's play" indicator. The toy shouldn't be active while charging.
"Lurr isn't listening to me today either. I told her, 'Lurr, go to sleep,' 3 whole times, but she just stares at the window and won't turn off."
Benny reached over, pressing the concealed haptic panel behind the rabbit's left ear. Usually, the hardware would chime and cycle down, but the diagnostic light bar remained completely frozen in a stubborn, bright line.
"I think Lurr is hungry."
"Let's try to reset the circuit. Here, feed her the carrot. That should force her to sleep."
Brit giggled, her annoyance evaporating as she took the carrot and pushed the tip into Lurr's small mouth, a magnetic click signaling the alignment of the charging pins. But the lenses didn't fade into the soft, sleepy green of a charging cycle. Instead, although flickering for a second, they remained steady orange. Brit turned, her eyes fixed on the rabbit's unblinking gaze.
See? I told you. She sits up and says those silly things, Daddy. I want to sleep, and she wants to play.
Do you remember any of the words, Brit? Try to think.
From the doorway, the floorboards gave a soft creak. Elise stood there, her work tablet held loosely against her hip. She had been listening quietly, her gaze shifting from her daughter to the burning orange lenses of the plush rabbit.
Last night it was about a string, Dad. She was saying it over and over. The line, the line.
Is that new software she downloaded, Benny? It sounds a little macabre for a children's toy.
No.
The memory of the radiant violet crystal tip in Axel's room popped into his mind with jarring clarity. No, Benny was pretty sure Lurr wasn't running on a core update.
Just what we need. Another AI hallucinating and scaring the hell out of us in the middle of the night. House. Log a diagnostic query on Lurr's network protocols. End.
The receiver gave a soft, affirmative chime. Turning back to his wife, Benny managed a reassuring shrug.
I'll dump the rabbit's routines into the bots tomorrow and find the glitch. Must be a corrupt something.
Scooping his daughter off the floor and pulling her into a tight, playful cuddle, he offered a dramatic grin.
For tonight, how about I sleep in your room so no nasty bunny stuff happens? Deal?
Deal.
Let's go downstairs and see if your show is on yet. Come on, hun. It's marching time.
As the father led the way out into the corridor, a recurrent out-of-body sensation disoriented him for a split second. Unwilling to let his imagination ruin the momentary peace, Benny reassured himself the sensation was just an after-effect of his sedation, nothing more than a momentary nuisance. Refocusing on the matter at hand, Benny's concern quickly shifted. What line, he thought, his pulse quickening against his ribs. What was that damned rabbit talking about? The rest of the day passed pleasantly with a succession of children's shows, reading time, and a quick afternoon walk before the sun went down and the icy wind off the bay picked up. Benny made dinner on the cooker. Axel and Benny discussed plans for how to investigate the crystal outcropping without destroying the precious fossil itself, resolving to begin work on the weekend. Axel regarded himself as a budding sleuth and had accumulated a few useful tools for DIY projects. Working on this new challenge had him revved up, so waiting the extra day would be difficult for him. The Lurr had powered down in mid-afternoon without intervention, adding to the family consensus that faulty programs or circuits would explain Lurr's weird vocalizations and behavior. As Brit's bedtime rolled around, Benny made good on his promise to stay in Brit's room until she felt secure enough to sleep. Benny leaned up against Brit's bed adjacent to her pillow. The Lurr took its accustomed position under the little girl's chin, its eyes now shaded in power-down status. Benny planned to stay just long enough to be sure Brit was in dreamland before he made a move to leave. Within minutes of settling next to his daughter, however, the serenity of the moment brought him promptly to the edge of sleep as well.
This line will end.
The Lurr's eyes were orange.
This line will end.
Benny stirred and twisted to look at his daughter.
What, honey? What was that?
Brit was breathing slowly and rhythmically. The Lurr showed no unusual activity, its eyes extinguished as expected. Exhausted, Benny awkwardly rose to his feet, then tiptoed out of the bedroom door. In the quiet space between sedation and reality, Benny Spritzer sought solid ground. He rejected the modern fantasies of simulations and multiple dimensions, wanting only the truth of the physical world. Yet the physical world was rewriting itself under his roof. A child's companion, designed for comforting routines, was now uttering a clinical decree in the dark.
This line will end.
To a physician, a line is a pulse on a monitor, a genealogy, a boundary of life and death. As Benny closed the nursery door, the true weight of the situation shifted. An ancient design had found its messenger, and the line is now directly in front of us. Step over the border into Chapter 6 to uncover the meaning of those words. Simply click on the link to continue.